Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a look at something really crucial, I think, for many of you who've put so much effort into your language journey already. If you're listening, chances are you've done something genuinely amazing. You've hit the C1 level in English. Just, take a moment to appreciate that.
It's huge.
Absolutely. You've gone from those first, maybe tentative hello, how are you moments, navigated through complex grammar, tricky vocabulary, all that nuance. It's more than just learning. It's like building a new communication reality for yourself.
Right.
But then often comes this feeling, it's pretty common, we call it the C1 plateau.
Yeah, that feeling of getting stuck.
Exactly. That fast progress you felt earlier.
Yeah.
Where every new word felt like a major win. It just slows right down.
It can feel like crawling.
Yeah. And the path forward, that final step to C2, to real mastery, it suddenly seems kind of foggy, doesn't it?
It really does. And it's so important to understand this feeling isn't, it's not failure.
Yep.
Not at all. It's actually a sign of how far you've come. You've moved from just grabbing knowledge to actually, refining it, using it skillfully.
Like wielding it.
Precisely. And that final climb, C1 to C2, that sort of effortless fluency, it's often less about cramming more rules and more about, the psychology of it. It becomes a kind of psychological contest fought right inside your own head. It's about how you engage with the English you already possess.
That's a really key distinction. The inner game of English, you called it. Not the language itself, but how our mind interacts with it at this advanced point.
Exactly.
So, okay, how do we win this inner game? What are these mental hurdles? That's our mission for this deep dive, to really unpack the 4 big psychological challenges on that C1, C2 path.
And give you some tools.
And crucially, equip you with practical strategies, things you can actually use to make your mind your biggest asset. We've really dug into the research, found some compelling stories, and looked for those real-world tactics.
Ready to jump in?
Let's do it. Okay, first major hurdle, the perfectionist's paradox. It sounds odd, right? A paradox.
It is, because the very thing that got you this far, that drive for accuracy, for getting it right, suddenly starts working against you.
How so?
Well, at C1, you know what good English sounds like. You've got the grammar, the vocabulary down pat, mostly. But chasing that 100% perfect sentence every time, it can kill spontaneity.
Right. You freeze up.
Exactly. It stifles the risk-taking you need for that final leap to mastery.
Yeah.
Your internal editor, that helpful voice from before, it turns into this tyrant at the gate.
Scrutinizing everything.
Yeah, judging every word before you even dare to speak it. It creates this massive psychological bottleneck. We looked at the case of Kenji, a really sharp engineer from Tokyo. His written English, flawless. Emails, reports, perfect clarity. He understands complex discussions and meetings.
Okay, so he knows his stuff.
Absolutely. But speaking, that's where it falls apart. An idea pops into his head, and he starts mentally crafting the perfect sentence, the exact verb, the right conditional tense, the perfect preposition.
Oh, I can see where this is going.
By the time he's rehearsed it mentally, polished it to perfection, the conversation's moved on. His great idea, never shared.
So his knowledge isn't the problem.
Not at all. It's the psychology. His brain power is just consumed by this pressure to be flawless, not by actually communicating his thoughts. It leads to hesitation, less participation, and ironically, less practice.
That story about Kenji, gosh, that must resonate with so many people. It's like fluency is capped not by knowledge, but by the fear of being wrong.
Precisely.
So how do we dismantle that, the deep-seated mental block?
Well, we need to sort of re-engineer the whole approach to speaking. First off, embrace what we call the principle of communicative efficiency.
Communicative efficiency.
Right. It's not about abandoning accuracy completely, but shifting the goal. The primary aim isn't 0 mistakes. It's getting your message across effectively.
So focus on impact.
Exactly. A sentence that's, say, 98% right but delivered confidently right when it's needed, that's way better than a 100% perfect sentence that stays locked in your head.
Right. That makes sense. Change the target from no errors to maybe sharing my main points.
That's the psychological shift. Then there's a neat trick. The 5-second rule.
Okay.
It's a cognitive technique, basically. To bypass that overthinking part of your brain, the second you have something to contribute, you mentally count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And just go for it.
And start speaking immediately. Don't give your brain that extra time to build up doubt. Momentum is a powerful weapon against perfectionism. It lets your underlying knowledge flow more naturally.
I like that. Bypass the internal critic.
And here's one that sounds a bit weird, but it works. Controlled imprecision drills.
Controlled imprecision. So practicing mistakes.
Sort of, deliberately practicing being imperfect. Try rapid-fire monologues. Pick a random topic, anything, the future of public transport, and just talk. 2 minutes straight.
Without stopping.
Without stopping, and crucially, no self-correcting. If you misspeak, use the wrong word, doesn't matter, keep going. You're training your brain to prioritize flow over finding faults.
Wow, okay. That sounds challenging but useful.
Or try improvisational storytelling with a partner. Each person adds one sentence. Forces you to think and speak on the fly, breaking that internal editing habit.
Breaking the habit, right. And finally,
shift how you view mistakes. Adopt the data-driven mistake analysis method.
okay, data-driven. Sounds serious.
It just means being systematic. Don't just fear mistakes, learn from them. Keep a mistake log.
Like a journal.
Yeah. Note the mistake, write the correction. Then, and this is key, try to figure out the pattern or reason behind it. Was it a grammar rule? A common confusion?
Understanding the why.
Exactly. And then write down one specific action you'll take. Maybe review a grammar point, create 5 example sentences.
So instead of shame, it's a learning plan.
Precisely. It turns anxiety into targeted action. Turns mistakes from something scary into, well, just data. A clear path forward.
These mental hurdles, they really can be draining. Perfectionism is one thing, but that leads into something else, doesn't it? This feeling of being a fake.
Yes, the imposter shadow. It often goes hand in hand.
Tell me about that. It's more than just feeling unsure.
Oh, much more. It's that persistent, nagging sense that you're a fraud in English, that the person speaking isn't the real you.
Like you're a less funny, less smart version of yourself.
Exactly. Less witty, less insightful, less warm. Whatever makes you you, it feels like your core personality gets lost in translation.
Like wearing an ill-fitting suit.
That's a great analogy. You're not just speaking another language. You feel like you're hiding the real you behind this awkward linguistic costume.
Why does that happen at this advanced level?
Well, it connects to something fundamental. Language and identity are deeply, deeply intertwined. When you feel you can't express who you truly are, it's not just frustrating. It can lead to genuine social anxiety, withdrawal. It hits your confidence hard.
Right.
Think about Lena, a creative writer from Berlin, super sharp in German, known for her quick wit, incisive comments, using clever wordplay, telling these hilarious stories.
The life of the party, maybe.
Pretty much, but in English. She feels like a shadow of herself. That woody comeback feels clumsy, too risky. So she plays it safe, uses literal, basic language.
And feels boring.
In her own eyes, yes. Boring, unintelligent. Like her personality is just invisible behind this wall of careful English. It's a profound sense of being inauthentic, losing herself.
Wow. Lena's story really highlights that language isn't just information transfer. It's about conveying you.
Absolutely.
So how do you step out of that shadow? How do you build an authentic English identity? Not become someone else, but express the real you.
It requires moving beyond just words, beyond the lexicon.
Yeah.
You need to master pragmatics and register.
Okay, pragmatics and register. Break that down.
Pragmatics is about how language is used in context. The unwritten social rules. How do native speakers soften requests, express doubt politely, use understatement or sarcasm?
The subtle stuff.
The really subtle stuff. And register is about adapting your language, formal, informal, technical, casual. Your personality shines through in how you say things, not just what.
So watch how people actually use the language in real situations, like panel shows, maybe.
Exactly. Or sophisticated comedies. Analyze how they communicate, not just what they say, and related to that, start building your own personality phrasebook.
A phrasebook for my personality.
Yeah. Collect phrases and sentence structures that express your specific traits. If you have dry humor, find ways to express irony in English. If you're analytical, gather phrases for hedging or showing nuance.
Actively building a toolkit for my voice. I like that.
Then you need to actively experiment. Develop your English persona.
Persona sounds a bit like faking it, though.
Not faking it, finding the expression of it. Like a musician learning a new instrument, same soul, different technique. Find a niche English-speaking community around an interest you share.
Like a book club or a hiking group.
Perfect. Vintage film, rock climbing, whatever. Your identity there is more about the shared passion, which lowers the stakes for the language, lets your real self emerge more easily.
Makes sense. Less pressure.
You can also find a role model, not to copy, but to study. A public figure, an actor, a podcaster whose communication style resonates with your personality.
And do what? Shadow them.
Language shadowing, yeah. But focus on their cadence, their pauses, how they tell stories. the personality they project, not just pronunciation.
Interesting. Looking at the whole communication package.
And finally, a big one. Embrace vulnerability and storytelling.
Vulnerability. How does that help?
Imposter syndrome loves hiding behind facts and objective statements. It shrinks when faced with genuine human connection. Prepare your signature stories. Those anecdotes, funny mistakes, key memories, insights that reveal who you are. Practice telling them well in English. It's a powerful way to claim your identity in the language.
Making yourself known.
Yes. And ask deeper questions in conversations. Go beyond, how was your weekend? Try, what was the most interesting thing you learned this week? It invites more personal sharing, allows you to connect more authentically.
Moving beyond the scripts. That's powerful. But all this, perfectionism, imposter syndrome, it must take a toll on your motivation, right?
Absolutely. And that brings us neatly to the third big psychological challenge, sustaining motivation. The motivation equation.
Why is motivation such a hurdle at C1? Surely you're motivated if you got this far.
You were, but the type of motivation often changes or needs to. In the early stages, A1, B1, B2, progress is often really visible. Every new grammar point unlocks something clear. Every conversation feels like a win.
Right. Tangible rewards, extrinsic motivation.
Exactly. You pass a test, you understand a movie, you order coffee successfully. Clear wins. But at C1 going to C2, those big, obvious wins get fewer and farther between.
The progress is more subtle.
Much more subtle, almost invisible day to day. So that wellspring of extrinsic motivation can dry up. It becomes a marathon, needing a different kind of fuel.
Internal fuel.
Intrinsic motivation, yeah. And it's easy for motivation to just decay when those external rewards disappear. We saw this with Fatima, a PhD student from Cairo.
Okay, what was her story?
Super ambitious, C1 English, good enough to get into a top UK university program. Huge motivator initially.
Yeah, that'd be.
First few months, exciting, new. But a year later, the reality hits. Reading dense academic papers, writing complex arguments all day, every day.
A grind.
A relentless grind. Her motivation just plummeted. The work felt endless, progress invisible. Academic English wasn't fun anymore, just a chore. She started procrastinating, switching back to Arabic for comfort.
That's a classic burnout scenario almost. Motivational decay, as you said.
Exactly. The external goal of the PhD was too far off, and the daily intrinsic rewards had vanished.
So how do you sustain effort for that C2 marathon? How do you fix Fatima's problem?
You have to consciously redesign your relationship with English, build systems that create their own momentum, systems tapping into intrinsic drive.
Systems, not just goals.
Right. Think atomic habits. A goal is the finish line, like reach C2. A system is the daily process. For Fatima, maybe not, I must finish this chapter, but every morning before email, I'll read one interesting non-academic article for 25 minutes and write a quick summary.
Achievable provides a small daily win.
Exactly. Makes it feel less like endless work, more like a manageable routine. And crucially, focus on identity, not just outcomes.
How does that work?
Instead of thinking I need to improve my English, tell yourself, I am the kind of person who enjoys engaging with challenging English texts.
Framing it as who you are.
It's surprisingly powerful. You're not trying to become something. You are a reader, a thinker, a communicator in English. Your actions then start aligning with that identity more naturally.
That makes sense. So build systems, focus on identity.
Oh,
What else?
engineer deliberate discovery sessions. Turn practice from a chore into discovery.
Okay, discovery, like exploring.
Yeah. Be a language detective. Read an article, but with a mission. Find 3 new ways to express agreement, or identify all the phrasal verbs about decision-making.
Gamifying it.
Exactly. It provides those small, satisfying wins that fuel intrinsic motivation. Or try project-based learning.
Like.
Start a blog in English about your hobby. Create a short video essay. Translate a story you love. Having a meaningful project, a tangible output, gives you purpose, pride, a sense of mastery.
Using the language for something real, not just practice exercises.
Precisely. And finally, build a system of curiosity-driven immersion.
Let your interests guide you.
Absolutely. Your brain learns best when it's genuinely interested. Use the rabbit hole technique. You encounter a new word or concept, say Keynesian economics. Don't just look up the definition.
Go deeper.
Spend 10-15 minutes exploring. Watch a quick YouTube explainer on Keynes. Read a short bio. Connect the language to a web of interesting knowledge. Makes it stickier, more engaging. And consciously curate your information diet. Less mindless scrolling, more high-quality, stimulating English content. Follow creators who make you think. turn passive consumption into active, curiosity-led learning.
That all sounds like a much more sustainable, even enjoyable way to keep going. Which brings us to the final challenge, maybe the trickiest. The C1 plateau itself. That feeling of, well, not moving.
Learning to see the invisible progress, yeah, this one's subtle.
Why is progress so hard to see at this stage?
Because the improvements are subtle. You're not building the house anymore. The foundations, walls, roof is up. Now you're sanding the floors, polishing the fixtures, choosing the artwork.
Fine-tuning.
Exactly. Refinement. And those small changes, day to day, are almost imperceptible. You lack that dramatic feedback loop of, wow, I can suddenly understand this whole new thing.
And that can be really demoralizing, right? Feeling like you've just hit a permanent wall.
Totally. But often, it's a trick of perception. Your brain wants big, obvious changes. Consider Javier, a project manager from Madrid. His English is great, leads meetings, negotiates, presents well, high functional fluency. He feels comfortable, maybe too comfortable.
Hasn't actively studied in ages.
Right. And he feels like he's been stuck at the exact same level for years. He knows there's another level of sophistication out there, but he has no idea how to get there, or even how to measure if he's improving at all. Feels adrift.
So he might actually be improving slowly through work, but just doesn't notice it.
Very likely. The gains are so gradual they're below his perception threshold. He needs new ways to both see the progress and make it more intentional.
That's a fascinating idea. Progress happening invisibly. So how do you make it visible? How do you navigate this plateau?
First, you have to redefine and track progress differently. It's not about what you can do anymore, but how well, how subtly, how effectively you can do it.
So different metrics.
Exactly. Try micro-tracking. Instead of just counting new words, track things like lexical density, how rich and varied is your vocabulary in a given piece of speech or writing, or syntactic variety, are you using diverse sentence structures?
Wow, getting technical.
A little, but it gives you concrete things to aim for. Or create a nuance tracker. Did I understand that subtle joke? Did I use that idiom correctly in context?
Tracking the fine details.
Yes. And another powerful tool, the before and after snapshot.
How does that work?
Record yourself speaking about a complex topic today. Just save the file. Don't listen to it yet. 6 months later, record yourself on the exact same topic without listening to the first recording.
And then compare.
Then compare. You will almost certainly be surprised, maybe even shocked, by the improvements in fluency, word choice, confidence, things your daily experience completely hides.
Making the invisible visible. I like that. What else?
You need to deliberately step out of your comfort zone, engage in high-effort, low-repetition activities.
High effort, low repetition. Meaning.
Plateauing often happens because we stick to routines, things we're already good at. You need activities that push you into your zone of proximal development.
That sweet spot, challenging but not impossible.
Exactly. Join a debate club or Toastmasters forces you to think on your feet, structure arguments, speak under pressure.
High stakes.
Or take an improv class. Seriously. It's amazing for killing perfectionism and forcing spontaneous creative speech. A real fluency workout.
Okay, getting out of the comfort zone.
Or teach what you know. Mentor someone at a B1 or B2 level. Having to explain complex grammar or nuance forces you to understand it much more deeply. It shines a light on your own gaps.
Solidifies your own knowledge.
Absolutely. And finally, cultivate a mindset of graceful failure.
Graceful failure. So feeling well.
Kind of. C2 mastery isn't about zero mistakes. Native speakers make slips all the time. The difference is how they handle them.
They don't panic.
Right. They self-correct smoothly. They use phrases like, or rather, I mean, or they just rephrase without a big apology. Observe that. Practice that. Moving from panicked correction to smooth adjustment is a key sign of fluency.
Handling mistakes like a native.
Yes. And embrace the feeling of the intellectual stretch. Actively seek out difficult conversations, challenging articles. When you feel yourself struggling to grasp something or articulate a complex thought,
Don't see it as failure.
see it as a successful workout. You found the edge of your current ability. That feeling of struggle is the feeling of growth happening. Reframe it.
That's a powerful reframe. Struggle equals progress.
It really is.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, the big shift from C1 to C2 seemed to be moving from being a student of English to being a sophisticated user of English.
Exactly. It stops being just rules and becomes this living tool for thinking, connecting, expressing your whole self.
And those challenges we talked about, Kenji's perfectionism, Lena's imposter feelings, Fatima's motivation dip, Javier's plateau, They aren't signs you're failing.
Not at all. They're rites of passage. They signal you've reached a level where the inner game, the snahology, becomes just as important, if not more so, than the technical language stuff.
Winning that inner game. It's
Yeah.
not about eliminating fear or doubt, is it?
No, you can't eliminate those entirely in any challenging pursuit. It's about learning to perform even when they're present.
Building resilience.
Mental resilience, yeah. The courage to speak before you're 100% sure. The self-awareness to find and project your authentic voice. The wisdom to build systems that keep you going when motivation flags. And the patience to see the beauty in tiny incremental steps.
You're not just mastering English.
You're mastering your mind.
Yeah.
You're learning to be the player in this inner game, not just, upon being moved around by your own anxieties or frustrations.
That's a fantastic way to put it, being the player. And from that perspective, the potential really feels limitless.
It does.
So here's a final thought for you to take away. As you work on mastering this inner game of language, think about how these very same principles, self-awareness, resilience, deliberate practice, seeing invisible progress, might apply to other areas of your life, other places where you're striving for growth and mastery.
That's a powerful connection to make.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for digging into this with us today.
My pleasure. It's crucial stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.